We all have an inner voice that comments on whatever we are doing, for better or for worse. Psychologists refer to this voice as self-talk or internal dialogue. Do you know the relationship between the internal dialogue and your productivity? In this video, I will explain it to you. Happy present moment and welcome to Jeanette Salvatierra TV. I am your hostess, Jeanette Salvatierra. The famous internal dialogue is the voice that reads the thoughts that we have and many times repeats and repeats the message so we don't forget it. We human has every day between 85,000 to 90,000 thoughts, and guess what? 80% is repetitive thinking, much of which reinforces beliefs, conscious and subconscious patterns that make us feel good or bad and act in ways that sometimes don't suit us at all. Negative self-talk is very, very common. Most of our internal dialogue consists on beliefs or thoughts programmed in our minds when we were children. We hear those beliefs so often, or in situations of such emotional intensity that we now believe them and we repeat them every time the situation or a similar situation arises. Some of those repetitive thoughts come in the form of phrases, and others come in the form of stories through mental soap operas that make us anxious or mentally predispose us to certain situations or people, and that also limits our productivity. And this is so for two reasons. The first, because it makes our innocent brain waste energy on worries or useless thoughts. And the second reason is because many of those phrases or stories prevent us to achieve our goals. Some examples: you are lazy, I know it won't work, it is simply useless, I never have enough time, I never know which is the best option, everything I touch turns into a mess. And then is when you start to create for yourself a story about everything that details that everything that can go wrong, because in the past something went wrong and that's what you remember. We seldom remember our successes, especially when we are stressed or in situations such as before an important decision or in the face of an apparent danger. You will also talk to yourself, but it doesn't have to be negative. You can learn how to revise the effect of your internal dialogue and reprogram it. So the internal dialogue becomes more positive, less negative, and supports the changes in your life, that whatever you are trying to do to become a better person and also to achieve your goals or dreams. That's what we call in conscious productivity to attend or to manage your narrative, or narrative for short. Narrative is the third pillar from the productivity model that I have created and teach, and that takes into account personal characteristics to create a foolproof personal productivity system that adapts you to you at all times. And then also modify itself to accompany you while you change as a person, while you grow as a person. This is the third video of the series, and you can see them all and find out firsthand when we publish new content. And for that, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Remember to activate the notifications by clicking on the little bell. Share the video if you like it. Also, give us a thumbs up and leave us a comment telling us what did you learn through this content, if you like it, what doubts arises in your personal case, or to suggest new topics that interest you regarding productivity, leadership, emotional intelligence, or in general personal growth. I remind you about the 4 pillars of the conscious productivity model. The first one is mission. What is the purpose of your life and your entrepreneurship or project? Number 2, physiology, how your body works and the different productive habits that you may have. The narrative, which is the one we are dealing in this video, that relates to the way you use your internal dialogue and favor to your productivity. And finally, the 4th pillar, mental energy. Like it relates to the way that in which your brain functions and how it allows you to achieve your goals and feel happy, having fun in the process of achieving your goals. As I said before, the narrative is made of single sentences, limiting beliefs or thoughts, and also is made of stories, true stories or imagined stories that anchor you to your thoughts, to your limiting thoughts sometimes, that reinforcing that belief, because according to your innocent brain, because it has already happened to you once, you are condemned for life to repeat the same story. Now I ask you, is that totally true? You can say with 100% certainty that the next time that kind of situation comes in your way, your actions and results will be exactly the same? Is that perhaps you cannot learn how to be more effective or happier or solve the situation? Isn't that possible that the situation is easier, that there are people that are willing to help you, or simply it occurs that to you in the moment a brilliant idea that allows you to solve the situation in the right way? And that's why, because you learn from your mistakes. What I just did with this series of questions is to challenge your story, and of course the limiting beliefs behind that story of unproductiveness or failure. There are many techniques to challenge and disassemble those stories and beliefs, and those methods are used in one-to-one sessions, and they consist of a set of structured questions and reflections that will be adapted to the natural flow of the conversation. This is why it's almost impossible to give a recipe or a prescription here in a video. So I invite you to consider working with me to transform your narrative, whether around the theme of success or productivity, as well as on a personal, emotional level. Nevertheless, I'm going to give you today 4 powerful questions for you to start reviewing your narrative, and of course change it if it's possible regarding your personal productivity. Ready? Okay, here we go. Question number 1. When I make mistakes or I give up, what I tell to myself? Check if you are not being very hardship or unkind to yourself. Okay? Question number 2. What kind of story I relate to my life? Is it drama, comedy, adventure, romance? I invite you to do this exercise. Briefly describe your biography, your life from every single perspective. Drama, comedy, romance, adventure. What kind of narrative you are related in more stronger? You're probably gonna discover something very interesting about your story and the change of perspective that provides you seeing the story from those different angles or from those different styles of narrative. And next question, how others describe my communication style. Analyze if this answer and how it compares with the answer you gave to question number 1. Okay? In other words, compare the way you talk to others to the way you talk to yourself. And finally, this is the 4th question. Am I comfortable receiving or expressing gratitude? To take advantage of these questions even more, write an example or more if you can, where or a situation where you receive gratitude and of a situation where you express gratitude. Gratitude impacts your productivity because it improves your attitude, your optimism, and your relationship with the work team, your suppliers, and customers as well. Work in your answers, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments or contact me by private message to work with me in a private mentoring session or in the next Conscious Productivity course. For now, I say goodbye. Thank you for watching. Blessings for you and your business, and we'll meet again very soon in an upcoming episode of Jeanette Salvatierra TV. Bye.